Senators Carl Levin and John McCain have proposed a new version of the National Defense Authorization Act. And in this version of it, they would allow women to be on the front lines of combat. And this is something that we debated a little bit yesterday on Current. Should women be allowed to be in those positions when it comes to, participating in the military? And it's interesting, I didn't know this. If you don't actually participate in combat, you as a woman are not able to move up the ranks in the military. So you lose certain benefits, you don't make as much money.
Right. I don't think that you have to be in combat the way that we're talking about it in combat, because obviously we have women at the highest levels of the military. So, but some degree of combat or field of battle, field of operations.
My guess is that it depends on what area you're in, and so the rules get really murky. So I read into this, right? And so, first of all, when you're on the battlefield, what does the front line mean, right? In Iraq, if you're in Kirkuk, where is the front line, right? So that's an open question. They're getting bombed, an IED, just like everybody else is. And then, you're right, Ben, there's generals and colonels, et cetera, that are women, right? Or lieutenant generals, et cetera. So they must have a way of advancement.
But there are certain war zones where women are not allowed to participate in combat.
Yes.
Right? And in those cases, since women can't participate in that, they're not able to get certain promotions.
Yeah, well, for as long as the military's been around, they've given battlefield commissions, meaning you're commissioned as an officer from a non-commissioned officer, you're promoted for your conduct in a specific battle. And if women are kept out of those situations, you may be well talking about more than that, but at the very least, you're not getting a battlefield commission if you're not engaged in that.
Absolutely right. So I was originally a bit of a Neanderthal on this. The fact that, because I think like who's going to drag my fat ass off a front line, right? Is a woman, an average woman likely to be able to do that? No. On the other hand, it's a fair argument to say, could an average guy drag my fat ass off a
Also, should your fat ass be on the front line to begin with?
Your fat ass wouldn't be on the front line.
Look, but this goes to Anna's point when we had an earlier debate on this, which is that
Photoshop Cenk could be on the front line.
that I could shoot a gun, but then so could a woman. She could shoot a weapon just as much as I can. And so, I'm a little mixed on it, but I do know that I'm a little worried that for things like Navy SEAL Team 6, the Rangers, et cetera, I don't want them to water down the qualifications because, wow, no women are making it, right? Because once they're not open yet, but they're going in that direction. Once they open it up, at some point, somebody's going to complain, isn't this discrimination, though no woman has ever made Navy SEAL Team 6? And then they're going to get tempted to say, well, what if we had less push-ups as a requirement?
I'm totally against that. I'm totally against them watering down standards just to allow women in, right? The standards are the standards. There has to be a reason for the standards, right? So if there are certain physical tests, there needs to be a reason for why those physical tests are in place. And I don't think they should water it down just so women can participate. I mean, this is the military. We're talking about war, and it's serious. But if a woman has the same physical capability as a man in the military, then why wouldn't she be allowed to be in the front lines?
Yeah, I think we got to apply, and you know what? My hunch is the military, which is not as susceptible to that kind of pressure as many other things are, right? I mean, they can't be sued. They get to do what they want, right? So just have a reasonable test and make sure that the things you have are reasonable. And it's not like that you can lift 350 pounds, because that's probably, but they'll be reasonable. And whoever passes it gets in. That's all there is to it. Look, trust me, there are not going to be a lot of women who just like the NBA. The NBA can't have an all-men rule. If there's a woman draining three-pointers and she's quick enough to get open, and the Charlotte Bobcats sign her, she'd be instantly the 7th best player on the team. Great. Have that. Have at it.
I know. Eventually, I'm going to go back to my Libby Lib roots, and I'm going to say, okay, fine, have the women on the front lines. Okay, but I'm telling you, I do not water down those rules at all, okay?